Hi everyone, I'm JD from Willow Bound Journals. Welcome back to my channel. This is a Junk Journal with Me episode working in my faith journal, and I'm just flipping to the next blank page. I just work from front to back in this faith journal, and I've got some pieces of ephemera here that I thought I might use, and I'll chat a bit more about why I chose those pieces a bit later on. Here is my journaling Bible. I absolutely love it. It's so pretty. It almost looks like a junk journal. And I'm just grabbing my highlighter and highlighting the scripture that was brought up for me this week, and that was just speaking to me at this time, and it is Psalm 139 verse 14, and I think a lot of you guys would know it. In the NLT version, the New Living Translation, it says, "Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous. How well I know it." I actually like the NIV translation better, I think. "For I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know this full well." And so I'll chat a bit about how that scripture speaks to me and a bit of a story. But first I'll just go through what I'm doing here on the page. So there's this Project Life card, that pink card with the silhouette of the girl, and I thought that worked well to kind of represent sort of like a self-portrait of representing identity and the whole concept of this scripture, meaning we are fearfully and wonderfully made as just the human being that we are. So that would represent that. And then the picture of the ocean with the bridge going through it. This is actually my favorite photo. And I found this photo online just randomly one time. I don't even know how, but just stumbled across it. I think in the blog world, actually. I used to blog, and I stumbled across some lady's blog, and she shared this picture with me because I just contacted her and said, "I just am in love with this picture. Would you give me permission to print it out and use it even as a backdrop to my blog?" And she said, "Yep, go ahead." And so I printed it out, and I did use it as my header for my blog back then. And I just love it. It's the beautiful colour, it's the ocean, it's peaceful. And the other reason, the reason I included it on this page is because there's a story that I'll share about a time when I was at the beach and I was standing in the ocean, just ankle deep in the water, and had a moment where I felt God speak to me, and it's connected to this scripture. So on the left-hand side page, I've just got a little journaling card thing where I can section off the page and write the scripture. And I've also got a little label that says, "You are so wildly beautiful." And that comes from Amity Bloom, so her Etsy shop, Nazi's Etsy shop. So here I am just writing out the scripture, and I pulled out a few other little labels too, thinking I might include one to write the date, but I tried to fit ones on the page and nothing was really fitting, and so I ended up just leaving the page as is, and then I fill in all of the blank space with writing, just with my normal ballpoint pen. So pretty simple, but each element is meaningful to me. So yeah, now I'm just kind of playing around with if I can fit these other pieces on there. But let me share the story. I'll get to, you'll see me write out the story on the page, and I'll just share that with you here. And as always, I hope that it is encouraging and uplifting, and maybe you can relate to this story. Oh, this is where I write the day and the date, just in this little blank bit of section here. I was looking at my calendar trying to work out what's the date again. Okay, so yeah, the story. I was at the beach one day and just had a moment where I felt ugly, worthless, useless, like I wasn't contributing to the world, that I didn't do anything that mattered, and in fact I thought that I made things worse, that I was just making a mess, and thought, yeah, just why even do anything and be myself and be me and all that kind of stuff. Those kind of thoughts, maybe you've had those thoughts before at some stage. And yeah, so I was just feeling really discouraged, feeling dejected and down, and all that kind of thing. But then I looked up and just looked at the world around me, looked at the ocean and the beach, and I was staring at the horizon and just appreciating the beauty that I was in and that was surrounding me. And I just, it helped to, I guess, take away some of that pain I was feeling and about how ugly and worthless I was feeling, by taking my eyes off myself and placing it on the beauty that was surrounding me. And I saw God in the ocean, I saw him in creation, I saw him in the beauty and the wonder around me, and all I could think was, wow, God, you're amazing, your creation is amazing, and I see how amazing you are through your creation. And then I felt like I saw him, like a kind of vision thing where I saw him looking back at me, like I was looking at the horizon and he was looking back at me from the horizon, and he was just looking at me, and he had a smile from ear to ear, and he just said, wow, look at you, you're so beautiful. And I was like, oh my gosh, God thinks I'm beautiful. Here I am looking at creation and looking at how beautiful he is and thinking how amazing he is. And yet he was looking at me and going, wow, she's so beautiful. And it helped to change my perspective and see myself through his eyes. And yeah, because it was literally like the way I was looking at creation was the way he was looking at me. And he would just show me that I was, like his masterpiece. He was proud of creating me. He was glad he created me. And even though I'm a broken, flawed individual, he still loves me and thinks I'm amazing and beautiful. So it was like a really fun, cool insight to be able to see it through his eyes. And I hope that we can all see ourselves and each other the way he sees us. That he just loves us so purely as we are, with all our fears and flaws and failings and mistakes and brokenness and mess, and that we don't have to feel ugly and worthless and unlovable, because he just loves us and calls us beautiful and sees us beautiful, and all that kind of thing. At the end, I'll actually share an artwork that I did that relates to this scripture and that story. Some of you might have already seen it, so but if you want to stick around at the end of the video, I forgot to when I filmed this video, I forgot to show it at the end, so I had to tack it on at the end. So you can check out that picture, and I'll actually read out the story that I wrote for that picture if you are interested. But now that I've finished my page spread, I'm just going into my journaling Bible and annotating it, so I date it, and I'm just writing out a summary of what I wrote in my journal about how that revelation I got of seeing myself the way God sees me, seeing myself through his eyes, through being at the beach that day and him looking at me and saying wow straight after I was the one who said wow. So it was a really, really amazing moment, and one that will stick with me forever, one that will always encourage me, because I have moments again where I still feel ugly and worthless and all that kind of thing, and like many of you might feel that way, but we can always come back to knowing and trusting that God says we are loved and we are beautiful. So I hope that was encouraging, and that is my page spread for today, and now it will cut to the next video. So here is the book that I wrote about my mental health journey, The Art of Mental Health: Drawing My Way Through Depression and Anxiety. And so I had depression and anxiety back in 2015 and 16, and I drew my journey. I drew my thoughts and my feelings because I couldn't express myself. I felt too afraid to share what I was really thinking and feeling, afraid of judgment. And so I documented my journey through journal entries and artwork. And then I put it all in a book and tracked my journey sort of chronologically through art and journal entries and stories of what I went through. Hopefully it's encouraging to let people know they're not alone in struggles, because whether you have depression or anxiety or not, we all go through struggles and feel pain, and it's okay to express it, and there's nothing taboo about it. And this tracks how God helped me through that journey. And so I hope this book is a comfort to people, to let them know they're not alone, and an encouragement of a way through and that kind of thing. So this is the picture I was speaking about in that journal entry, clothed in beauty. We are more beautiful than the stars and rainbows. So I'll read what I have here. Sometimes I feel like an ugly, broken mess, and there's no point in me doing anything. One time when I felt like this, I went for a walk along the beach. I stood with my feet in the water and looked at the horizon. The ocean made me think about how big God was, and I just saw so much beauty in his creation. I was in awe of him and smiled and said, "Wow." Then I got a picture of God looking back at me from the horizon. He was smiling at me and he said, "Wow." It showed me that the way I was looking at creation was the way he was looking at me. He was in awe of me and thought I was amazing and beautiful. I was his masterpiece, and he was so proud of creating me. My shame makes me think I'm a bad person, and my insecurity makes me think I can't show myself to people. I turn to things like perfectionism, performing, and people-pleasing to cover me and make myself look like a good person. But the real me is hidden. I want to throw off the straitjackets of perfectionism, performing, and pleasing people, and let God clothe me. He covers me with a robe of rainbows and a cloak of stars. When I see a rainbow and look at the stars, I'm in awe of God and the beauty he created. This picture reminds me that I am also something beautiful that he created. And as we all are, we all might have moments where we feel ugly and worthless and useless and no good, but God is so proud of creating us and loves us and thinks we are just beautiful. And when we see ourselves the way that God sees us, we can't help but see that beauty and just enjoy the beauty of his creation, knowing we're part of that beauty in his creation. And I love that idea. So I hope that is encouraging. And this book is available if anyone is interested. The physical copies are all sold out, but the ebook is available as a PDF. It is $10 for the ebook, and the way to purchase is through PayPal. So just $10 through PayPal to wordslikesilk@gmail.com, and I will email it to you directly if you're interested. And all the information will be in the description box below anyway. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and may you know you are so loved, you are so beautiful, and you are just amazing, 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 just the way you are. So be you and be encouraged, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.